Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I want to brought to you by is what? Dispose LLC. This is a garbage company that's been doing great things. One of the things I can tell you, even when I was doing camo and everything else, I always still kept my own. Dispose has been doing the things that I always wanted us to continue to do. Get that trash away from you.
Yes.
So it gives us a chance, gives us an opportunity. And one of the things I can tell you, we're going to show great to you by giving us that opportunity. So give us a chance at Dispose LLC.
Yeah.
Now, I got to get back to this man that's been rocking with me, doing great things. I'm telling you, proud of him. He's here each and every time. Chromatic, how you doing tonight, big baby?
I'm doing great, Jay. Doing great, man, as usual.
Hey, man, I like that usual, man.
Yeah.
I love the beat, man. Went to your class recently, man.
Yes. I appreciate
I'm
that.
loving the Minecraft thing. One of the things I want y'all to understand, one of the things that we team together is because we're trying to help the community in ways that's going to uplift.
Yeah.
Okay, because everybody wants to be something different, but nobody taught you the tools to do it. I know y'all ain't gonna believe this. The school system ain't gonna do it. I know it. I know y'all upset with me. Listen, okay. I'm glad y'all made it through that. It's a lot more. So come
It's
on
a
over
lot
here
more.
and
Yes.
find out how you can make your mind do so much more. You know, we start this with relationships, but it's really about you being the best you.
Yes.
Come on and give us an opportunity and a chance, and I'm telling you, we're gonna change your whole life.
There you go.
I tell them that every time they come in my bedroom, but they don't believe me. my bad. You know, I ain't saying I do that all the time or nothing.
That is a great way to introduce our show. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And of course, we are here to liberate your minds and souls with a great dialogue. We're just going to sit here and chop it up on a subject, and we want you to kind of get involved from your seat. Find a way to answer your own questions as we have this discussion. You know, we always like to think of this a little bit as therapeutic because you're going to find some answers that perhaps you haven't seen before in yourself or even perhaps in our stories and opinions. So just get comfortable and let us just do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight's subject is what makes a woman bad at sex?
So, what? Somebody said it.
Is there such a thing?
No.
What makes a woman bad at sex? And so, we don't know what's going to come out of it, but we're going to keep it professional.
I'm going to try.
Yeah, we're going to definitely keep it pro-like. And so, we always start the show off with a prayer. And I didn't know, Jay, did you want to do the prayer?
No, I'm going to need you to help them with this one. Nope.
Okay. I was finna pray over the topic, but I don't think I want to tonight. Right?
No.
So let's just do a harmonic prayer and just get in synchronicity with one another.
All right. We can do that.
Heavenly Father, we come to you right now with our heads bowed and our hearts humbled, just thanking you for all that you are and all that you do in our life. We thank you for your power and your strength and your wisdom and your protection and your love and your care and understanding. We ask, Heavenly Father, that you would be with us tonight, that you would speak your word through us, and that you would open our minds to hear a greater idea than the one that we already know. Find a way to change us, liberate us, and synchronize our spirit as it relates to this topic tonight. We know, Lord, that we don't always do right. So we asking that you would correct us in whatever way we need to be corrected tonight. Let the message come through powerful and strong. Be here with us, and we pray all these prayers in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Yes,
Amen.
yes. The world needed that. Thank you, my brother.
Well, we're about to tackle an interesting topic tonight, and it's going to be something else.
I'm with it.
You with it?
Yeah, I'm
Just
with
started
it.
now. Anything else you want to say?
Hey, nah, this one right here is hitting where, we.
Hey, so somehow or another, we ended up tonight with the topic of what makes a woman bad at sex. Now, I don't know if this actually came from a woman or if it came from a man.
It came actually from a topic that somebody sent me, so
Okay.
somebody put this out there.
Somebody put it out there.
Wasn't me.
And we received those messages so
Yes,
we
we
can
do.
get underneath the surface of things.
Yes, we do.
And so, in your opinion, Jay, what makes a woman bad at sex?
Not knowing me.
Mm.
Why would you take the time to give me something that you did with somebody else thinking that's going to please me?
Mm.
Take the time to understand me. Vibe with me. Have a vibe with a person. That means that you're going to move with that person in a way that's going to make more harmony. Don't hit me with some stuff that you thought you did great with somebody else thinking that's going to impress me. First of all, it's going to make me know that you just been out there. My whole thing, don't expose me to what somebody else said you was great at, because it might not be what I want you at.
Yeah.
If I see you as a great woman being in great places, I don't need to see you as some other person that I don't care to see. And I'm being nice not to call you something.
Oh, wait a minute, man. What the hell are you talking about?
Because
you're telling me that she can truly be a lady in the street
and still be
in the bed, and you ain't gonna respect that?
Oh, I don't need you to be something for somebody else.
No.
She did that for somebody else. I'm saying I need you to bring your skill levels to understand what you're dealing with. And understand it to me.
Man.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Do I like a person that knows some things? Yes. But do you think everything you know what I want? You don't know me.
Right.
So you trying to please me off of other people saying that I fit in a category that I don't.
Okay. I get that. But in most cases, Jay, they're just doing what they know. They ain't got no extra special skills. The only thing that creates skill is knowing you, and it takes time to get there.
And when you get to know me,
she can get skillful in the things that you like.
There you go. You get more into a skill that works with the person that you with compared to all the people you've been with.
Okay,
that's all I'm saying.
Okay, listen, I'm not. When I meet a woman and we decide to engage in some sex. Hot sex, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't supposed to have sex, but we had it, you know what I'm saying? Edgy sex, whatever. That I'm not necessarily gonna judge her by her bad sex.
Correct.
I'm not gonna do that right away. Huh?
The girl bit me.
Jay, you always got some experience.
I'm just trying to tell you, you can't just think that it don't work the way you think.
Okay, well I ain't never had nobody.
Well, she bit me, man. Well, I thought she was a piranha. Don't this feel good?
I did have some scratches before.
Hold on. That's bad. Yeah, that's a little different.
That ain't no different. That hurt just as bad.
It hurt, but Graham, you was hurting too. We was pound it. So again, that vibe. They get into it. They can do different things. I get it.
But see, they only know what they know, you know. And in most cases, especially if it's early in the sexual relationship,
all right,
they're just exposing you to what they can, what they know, what they feel comfortable with, what they what they want to do that night. I had somebody tell me recently, wow, I was really drunk last night. You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, I don't want to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? I know how you get down. That's not how she was, but it is what it is.
Excuse.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna judge them early on by saying I don't start judging the process until both parties can really get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you can do that in a short period of time, especially if you synchronized, if you unified, if you have some common angles and things like that. But everybody's just coming with what they know. So
let me.
Does it make her bad at sex?
Let me.
Because she don't know your thing.
No,
it doesn't.
What makes it really bad is when you're not willing to change for a person. So again, sometimes when you have somebody that's not been out there,
right?
Okay, this person is not knowledgeable about all that.
Yeah,
she just knows the small things that she used to do.
That she like to do.
No, that right there is not bad sex to me. That's a person that I can easily get her to know me, and we can learn more things.
Yes.
Now that sparks better sex. It wasn't bad sex.
Right.
Because she still was willing to.
Right.
So what makes it bad is when you don't care to change for a person or for anyone to feel like all it is what I can give. That can be sometimes bad because what you're doing ain't trying to please. It's just what you want. And everything you want, not might be into your partner. And again, how you feel is different.
But see, that's what happens once you get out of that elementary stage of sex with one another. When you really get comfortable with one another, that somebody's going to end up giving a little more or a little less.
Correct.
And that's where the separation starts to happen because I want it more, or I want it less. You go too long, or what I'm saying, you're a little too rough, or you don't do this or that. But you're not typically gonna hear those comments because nobody wants to deflate their partner, especially if now I'm really starting to care for this person too, right? So I gotta hold back some of my comments because I'm starting to like them a little bit, and maybe that can make me bad at sex, but or make her bad at sex. But ultimately, what she's doing is she's saving a little bit of herself so she don't get labeled. She's saving a little bit of herself so she don't, she don't go too hard in the paint. But I don't know that I ever really heard many men at all ever say that a woman was bad at sex.
Let me ask you
they may just go ahead.
You want to know why?
Why?
A lot of times it's us. We click to say it was bad sex, and a lot of times it's us because I was with somebody and I was giving them pound time. I'm pounding.
Yeah.
And she couldn't take the pound.
She wasn't used to the pound.
Right. It was in a position that she didn't think I was gonna bring it like that. It was like, whoa, this is too much. So now you say, oh man, she can't take it, this, that, and nothing. So now you're looking at bad sex.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
But it wasn't.
She was willing to, but not like that.
Right. That's not how she does.
Right. And to her, it didn't vibe to her. It was gonna be like that. So she automatically was like, I didn't think he was gonna do that because that wasn't the vibe that you gave me. So guess what? I had to slow it up a little bit to understand more of her. So what I was about to label as bad end up being a situation that I was. It wasn't a good vibe and a mix at that portion of time that I felt I wanted to do. I was doing it because I had a lot of frustration, I had things going on. And me and her wasn't close like that, but we was close enough to be doing that.
Yeah.
So
you know what's interesting about what you say? I'm recalling a moment where I met this young lady, and 2 or 3 nights we got together, hooked up, drank a little too much, ended up back at her place, right? And I didn't know really her history. I just knew that she was a great person, and we had a great time that night, really way before sex, you know what I'm saying? Just at the restaurant and sitting in the car talking, and we got to her house, we was dancing and chilling by ourselves, And so when it came time to sex, that I kind of went into my normal mode, right? But she had been in a relationship. She had an ex-husband, right? So she was used to kind of slow, melodic, real touching sex. You know what I'm saying? Real intimate type of sex. And she told me about this later on. But I went in hard in the paint. Not to mention she was, oh my God, so fine. So, now I'm putting my best work in. And it was overbearing. It was overbearing for her. You know what I mean? And so she told me that, and I made some changes, and we kept the program going.
Right.
But I was willing to change, and I automatically knew, even for me, it wasn't that good, right? Because I was like, damn, she ain't moved, you know what I'm saying?
She ain't really taking it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I like to be
in action.
Yeah.
Let me know what's going on.
I want to be in a good tussle. You know what I'm saying?
There's a rumble in the that ain't going with jungle.
Good tussle, and so it is visible. People's past sex lives is very visible in the midst of those present moments, and you get to see kind of who they are. You get to see what you want, what you don't like. They might even take you to a new level, and that's really what it's always designed to do. Is everybody should go to a new level. Every experience should be a little more elevated, and a little more user friendly, and a little more loving, and a little more pound, you know what I'm saying? It should always be growing, But that unexpected pound town is is a challenge for a lot of women, right?
No, not just that. I had somebody that wanted the pound town, but they didn't show it. They thought
I had that too.
That you, because how we talk on the show,
I'm trying to treat you like a lady.
And I'm like, I talk regular, but I don't tell nobody when I'm gonna bring all that. My whole thing is, but she was expecting because the conversation and how I am.
Yeah.
But we didn't talk about that. So when I first get with you, no different than you, I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm not gonna always go to a situation. I'm gonna go with how you are.
Yeah.
And you the kind of person that wants more attentive.
I'm gonna feel you out.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna bring a pound town to a person that I don't believe that they want a pound town. But they heard my voice, what I did on the show, didn't tell me that that's what they like. So when you get with them, I'm looking at you, you've been classy, ladylike. I'm going to treat you how I would want to be treated.
Okay.
And I went to a reserve, and they was like, wait a minute. I just know you was going to do this, and this. And I'm sitting there like, okay. I already know.
It calls for a second round.
What?
and us as men, we got to understand that, you know what I'm saying, most women, You know what I'm saying? You got to start off slow anyway. You can't just go straight into.
Yeah, you got to start off slow anyway.
You can't just go. So a lot of men just go straight into pounding. You got to have a stroke motion, slow stroke motion to get everything, the situation where it need to be.
Yeah.
And then they'll bring it out.
Yeah.
You know, even if they'll bring it out, they won't fuck me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they'll tell you. Yeah, you can see it in the movement.
Once you get into that. But most of the time, you got to start like that because you can't go straight into pound.
Right. And I'm not sure if everybody heard what he was saying, but he's basically suggesting that you can never go into pound early in the game. You have to feel a woman out. You got to get, the situation in the hip action right in the slow stroke. And he's suggesting that she will tell you, she'll tell you when she want more. She'll tell you when it's good. She'll tell you when it's right. And I think that's important lends itself to the point I want to make next.
What's that point?
Is that I just have the belief that the sexual experience is about her. And it is my job to please her, right? Like my objective in my mindset, right, is that I want every woman to leave me like, you know what I'm saying, like drunk. I want them to leave like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Playing the tape in the head for 2, 3, 4 days. That's what I want. I get mine pretty easy. It's not that, obviously when you're in a relationship, you're seeking for other things than just the initial touch. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're seeking for a deeper layer of sex, a deeper level of connection with that person. But, always of the notion that she's got to get hers and it's my job to make sure that she gets it. And, that can happen in many ways. Women are very forward nowadays and they don't have no problem reaching down, helping out. They don't have no problem bringing a toy. They don't have no problem setting the mood. They'll tell you what they like. They'll tell you what they want. And as long as they're achieving their goal, I'm most certainly achieving my goal. That's kind of how I look at it, right? I really never go into any, interpersonal encounter thinking to myself, I'm going to tie that up, when I get drunk, when I've been drinking, I'm especially if it's someone early in the game, I'll be like, I'm going to destroy this. I'm going in like crazy, It does take time to understand a person. And, if you engage in 2 or 3 encounters and you're not feeling that person, that's probably a sign that it's not right. And sometimes I just have this belief that there's some spiritual measure, some spiritual discernment measure in every one of these relationships and encounters, basically saying, don't do that. Sit down. You got enough. You don't need that anyway. That wasn't the right one for you. That you need to just go on about your head, because we don't want to be driven by our sexual desires. We don't want our life to be represented most by our sexual desires. We want it to be more about companionship and compassion for other people and hanging out and having a good time, not necessarily about that stuff.
And it also goes back to what you have said before, Kraft, is if you can get in her mental. You know what I mean? She gonna get more wetter and everything anyway, so that gonna make the sex better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you can get her better beforehand and during,
that's the key right there. What we just suggested that you have to get into her mental. You know what I'm saying? Right. You got to get into her understanding and her thought processes, and you know what I mean. You got to, and what that is. Ultimately, in some form or another, we're talking about sex here, not necessarily relationships, but in some form or another, woman gonna have to like you in order to have sex with you. You know what I'm saying? It's very few women who will just have sex with you, right? And that's not what we want. That's not what we're talking about. No. So now you really got to get in her mental early. You got to make her laugh. You got to make her feel comfortable. You got to make her feel like you care. You got to make her feel, those compliments that we make as men in general. You know what I'm saying? Those things can add a great deal of her openness in the sexual encounter.
I love this talk. I had somebody told me that I like toys, but they said the rose was so good, it'll make you not want a man. I said, I'll buy it for you. You gonna go out and buy it? I said, I'm gonna buy it for you.
Hell yeah. That's right.
I'm gonna buy it for you. I bought it for her. She like, it's good, but I still want you. I was like, I knew that. I knew that when I bought it because I was confident in me before I wanted to go get a toy that everybody brag about. Now this gonna get you.
I'm gonna tell you something.
How about now that we went our own ways and everything? She was like, "Get broke. You'll give me another one." Yeah, you date no more. It's like, wait a minute. I ain't responsible for a toy that I bought because I'm confident. Because she was like, "So you gonna get me another one?" I was like, "I ain't with you no more. I'm not buying you nothing." But you're like, "Well, I can't have the real thing I want. So can I at least have with some pleasure?" Now it's a joke, but what I like to tell you is she's still gonna remember what you do when you get into a mental state. Because hers was, I heard it'll make me not even like you. Because it'll make you not even want a man. And I told her I'll buy it. It totally impressed her because I am not scared of what they say. You forget what I can do. It's the confidence in you. And that's where I really feel like most failures happen. Most people are not comfortable enough to be comfortable. You need to make a person know, hey, these are the things that I like. Like I told you, I didn't bring Pound Town when Pound Town was asked for. It wasn't really asked, didn't know. Guess what? It happened. They got pleased. Yeah, so again, it's like you. It's a vibe.
Let me.
And we take the time to get to the vibe.
Yeah, you open the door, kind of Pandora's box a little bit, because toys are a major change in the game. And women of the world, I think a lot of single women are enjoying toys when they don't have men, and it oftentimes, I do believe, and I've had women say this. Oftentimes they say, "Can't nothing do me like that toy," and I know it's because that they can stay in that state. They can stay in that orgasmic state for like long periods of time. You know what I mean? And whereas, we just don't operate like plastic toys. You know what I'm saying? We operate very differently. But it takes a real man to appreciate a toy in his bedroom. It takes a conscious and a woke man to understand that the toy is not replacing him. In fact, you'll get all the credit for what the toy do if you'll just bring the toy in the room, because that's what she wants. And I'm going to tell you this, and we all know this has happened, right? Mm-hmm. Women who have kind of been saturated in that world for some time. They've tried all kinds of different toys. They know their bodies, right? Mm-hmm. And they know what they've had to do to take care of themselves all these years. When you come into that woman's bedroom, there's not much that's going to satisfy her more than that. You can participate in the program, but that's the thing that gets her to her highest and mightiest, and you got to honor that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I've had women on many occasions suggest that, hey, the sex was great, but I need this. And so, you know what I'm saying, I'll lay beside you and just hold you on your brow while you reach down and do what you need to do. So, a man really, especially people who are kind of inexperienced, they can see toys and they can see that world as competition. They can see that, right? Because you got to know that if a woman is using a toy, there is a great chance that she's going to use it when you're not around. And there's also a great chance that if she uses it when you're not around, that when it's time to have sex, she may have got her fix a few hours ago before you got home, right? Mm-hmm. And so now, you kind of have to address that issue. It's depending on the woman that you have. But we've seen this. We've seen women and men who are not having sex, husband and wives who are not having sex, and she gets her toy. Before you come home from work or after you leave in the morning, mm-hmm. She's gonna spend quality time with herself. And so now it takes even a little bit more than just sex to open that person up. You got to be bringing some gifts, or you got to have some niceness about you, or you got to be a real person. You got to really care. You got to really say you're sorry, because otherwise she's gonna be like, all I got is my toy. All I can count on is my toy. And so we can lose some parts of women.
I can only tell you
to those things. You know what I mean?
It's what you say is totally true. But one thing I would tell any great man or any man that's just good man, don't be impressed with a toy. And no matter what she say, it is about you. I've told people, bring your toy.
Bring your toy, yeah.
Bring your toy. Yes. Because I'm confident enough that I promise you, what you thought you had compared to what you got, I will change your life. Because again, as you play, we play together. We're going to win this together. That's how you got to be confident. Because when they start talking about, and they was talking about that rose, the rose this, rose that. When she said that, I said, buy it. No matter of fact, don't buy it. I'll buy it. And I did. I bought it. I paid it. Right. Because I was confident to know how I knew how it was going to work out. You like certain things, but that toy can't make you laugh, can't make you enjoy life like I can.
Can't buy you dinner.
Yeah, because what I bring you,
grass.
that ain't going to do it. It's going to give you one satisfaction when I bring you multiple. But I don't want to cheat you out of anything. So bring it. And next thing I know, when we first started off, she was like, oh yeah, this was the bomb, this, that, the other. So one time, it was about a month going into this graph, I'm like, what a rose. She said, I ain't even charged that thing. It's amazing how you can get a person to change. Yeah. My whole thing is stay into a person's mental and you stay in their life.
It's because those toys, by the time you get to her, they old. She already know them. They don't even get the job done no more. That, you can be the fix. You can be the new fix, even beyond those things. So, don't be upset or taken back, gentlemen, if a woman introduces something like that.
No, hold on, that's fun now. Because one time I went to a female and her toy was the lampshade. Her toy stood up like the lampshade, bro. I'm telling you. That's your toy? I thought that was the lamp. I'm sitting there like, what? What? I mean, she was like, well,
there's always going to be some extreme cases.
Yeah, and she was extreme. So, but let's talk about the extreme before we have a better understanding. Now, to a lot of people, it's going to be very intimidating. To me, even I was wondering, if you must don't got no inside. This is just me being honest. I'm looking at her, but hold on. Before you lose confidence, I was like, you know something? She showed me a toy. That don't mean I'm supposed to stop anything. So as we was dealing, even with her ridiculous toy, she always said, that toy do not do what you would ever be able to do. It'll go all this, but I promise you, you touch all this. Because you learn me. I have to force it to where it is. It never would do what you, because you do it on your response compared to me doing it. And it is a known reaction on what I do compared to what you do, because I don't know what you're going to do, but you always find that spot that I always like. So confidence is just more into your actions compared to some things that you see. That toy would have made you think like, yo, she ridiculous.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something.
And I gotta say that probably one of the things that makes a man bad at sex is that he don't have enough to satisfy his woman.
Everybody ain't gonna have it.
Sometimes you come behind a toy like that.
Yeah, that's bad too.
You know what I'm saying? You might not get the kind of friction that you need.
You might not.
No. That's why women oftentimes they're engaged. Women who know the game, they're engaged in these exercises. I think they call Kegel exercise or something like that. It tightens the program back up so that it feels good, normal type, whatever. But sometimes a man can't come behind some of those for women who like that type of that type of toy. What else might make a man bad at sex? Not paying attention to his woman's needs. That's a big one. We got to keep our eyes on the prize. She is constantly that's my whole preposition, is that we have to satisfy her, but she's constantly in need of something. And, I'm constantly searching for ooh, ahs, and ahas. Right. So if I don't hear the ahas and ooh-ahs, and if I don't hear that, then I ain't putting in work, right? I need to see eyes rolling back, closed, and I need to, hear some patting. I'm listening for the expressions that she might make when she's enjoying it. And if I work a few minutes in one area and I ain't getting that, I'm gonna take it to another area.
Right.
I'm gonna go back to the area I just left. Right.
You gonna work it.
I'm gonna work it.
You like you work the room.
I'm gonna work it.
That's what you do.
Key. I'm gonna work it. And I don't No, I never considered women having that attitude, but it takes that in a sexual relationship. It takes both parties to work it, you know. And here's the thing.
What's that?
In the midst of working it,
Mm-hmm.
there's a portion of that sexual encounter that's not for you.
Of course.
It's for them. And that could be from the woman's side or that could be from the man's side, but it's for them. And so now there become moments where I'm working on, I'm proactively pleasing my partner. I'm proactively, I wanted to go through the roof. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to, I wanted to be wet all over. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I wanted to not be able to rest for a couple of days, right? So I'm working to make sure that I hit every vibe and nerve that I possibly can. And I hope that women might have the same attitude. If you are having sex with a man and let's just to say the sex isn't good and you're not satisfied, what do? Do you just you get up and you wait till he leaves? Is that what she does? She waits till he leaves.
Some
do it up.
Some do, and then some after they get done, they end up trying to call me. But we're gonna talk about that another day. One of the things
they call the spare time.
They call the finisher.
They call it.
They call the finisher.
They call it the closer, huh?
That's right. You got to finish the job that somebody else done started and then played around.
Somebody didn't get the job done, so you had to come in and finish.
And it's kind of sad to be coming around behind some bull crap. But bottom line, like I tell anybody, it's not being known to be a finisher, because the bottom line is understanding the person. Because I've had a situation where I was with somebody and they just bust out and they start like crying. And again, I think I did a pretty good job. But I didn't think it was worth crying. I'm like, well, because they can get it so emotional.
They get so emotional.
Yeah, they are letting and releasing all the things that's going on, and you have to be sympathetic.
Yes.
To back away and understand it ain't just always you. What's going on?
Yeah.
I can stop and not be worried about being pleased. It's back to what you said. I want to know what's going on with you,
right?
And if I gotta hold you at that moment, because I gotta ensure you, it is a team effort, and I'm not being a team player if I stay in my mode of Pound Town and not care.
Watch this, Jay.
That doesn't make sense.
And I'm gonna just cross the line a little bit. I'm gonna just say a couple of things, and you might want to say something.
Okay.
Be professional, all right?
I try.
What makes a woman bad at sex? I've had women who just make too much damn noise. They just cannot keep themselves composed enough. They could never come to my parents' house.
Yeah, I mean, we never go nowhere with nobody around.
I had this one girl. Listen, I swear to you, bro, she screamed, and the neighbors could hear her scream all the time, right? And even in a hotel room, she just reverberates. That made it very uncomfortable situation, right?
Right.
I don't know if you ever had a woman who really, really, really wet up your bed. But I tell you what, that it can be so good, but it sure is taxing on the cleanup.
Taxing.
You put down some garbage bags.
She had to let me know, because I know you're in this pee on me. Talking about squirting. No, I know you was in pee on me.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
I mean, listen,
So I feel you.
just the reality of the sexual experience, sometimes when a woman is too prudish, sex involves a little spontaneity. You know what I'm saying? You could be married to somebody and still want to have sex in the backseat of the car. You know what I mean? Because you could backseat of the Tahoe or whatever. There's some people who just they won't take any risks. They won't take any chances. I remember some crazy things in my young man days. I remember literally driving, having sex. Woman sitting in my lap. You need to be a little spontaneity. A little spontaneous in your situations. There's all kinds of episodes of spontaneity. It sometimes takes that, and somebody who's not willing, it can make them a bore a little bit.
I've been known for that.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but I like to say sometimes it's us. Because I've done so much. It's like what you said. I did that in my younger years.
Right.
I rode around, butt naked in a car, riding around, doing things. I did this. So this happened 18, 19, 20 years old. I did this outside in the park, on the roof, out in a tree, you name it. I have fun. Okay?
You know what, man? Every time I look at a beautiful woman,
Mm-hmm.
I can never see that in her. Every once in a while, you can see it in their eyes, but these beautiful women,
No.
they want the same thing you want, right? They want the same thing you want, but you just don't. You have that
like that.
You have that grandma auntie like I'm protecting your image type thing.
Okay, you gotta drop
But
that.
yet,
You gotta drop it. You gotta drop it because they have
you gotta
that
drop
age
it
too.
You gotta drop it, and
And
they sometimes want it as bad as you.
And that's why I say I have to get out of our comfort zone saying, oh, okay, I did that, this, that, and the other. Because other people want to experience different things too.
I can't tell you countless numbers of times I've just been totally surprised that I'm where I am with this woman because I didn't think she was finna do all that. You know, she looked, like she a church girl. She looked like she corporate America. She looked like she clean. You know, not unclean, but she just looked like she don't do that.
I had one,
but in a
all
very
she
short
did,
period of time.
she was a doctor, so all she did was study.
Yeah.
Biggest freak ever.
Biggest freak ever.
I'm talking about this person, doctor, is always in there doing her stuff, and I'm not thinking she would be wow because she's that perfect person doing the. She wanted to because she wasn't able to. She studied.
You couldn't see it from the outside.
Yeah, and now
Yeah.
you deal with her, and she like what?
Yeah.
I want to. Hey, you been to trapeze? I want to trapeze. I want to. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait. You would have never thought she could be that wild, and that's why I said you have to be very open-minded and quit being selfish. Just because you experience some things doesn't mean that other people don't either, or it might be more overbearing than they can handle. My whole thing is have that dialogue to make them feel special, because that's what it is. It's a special bond that everybody's supposed to have when you do it. But no, we're doing it just to please because everybody is hurting.
Yeah.
And I'm not asking everybody to go to the clinic, everybody to go to the bar, everybody to go places, but we all are hurting in different ways. And we're using that component in a way to please a pain when you really just supposed to be pleasing a person. And that's when it gets more personalized and you use it for the right way. Because it's really just for a beginning of birth. It's a pleasure now and it's supposed to be a pain for a woman later. And it's going to be a pain to a man taken care of because we have to provide. There is a little bit of a ladder when it comes to sex. And a lot of times the pleasing is so pleasing, we forget about the ladder and what it brings.
Yeah.
And that's all I want to do is bring more understanding where we can be stronger people.
Yeah. And understanding is the key. Ultimately, understanding is key. Now, there's always, just there's women who are just, stop, slow down, wait, watch, hold on. Wait, I'm like, damn, we could have talked this out.
Yeah. Oh, Lord, I ain't see that one coming. Oh, yeah, you can put on that one.
We could have talked this out. Yeah.
You waited a whole lot of time.
Yeah, and you know what I'm saying? I wasted a whole lot of blood.
I mean, really?
You know, my head got light. I got lightheaded. You know? So, listen, a great conversation. We hope that it was fun. It was most certainly entertaining. We hope that there was some good stuff come out of it. This has been Bar Talk with Jay.
Okay.
My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And we hope you have enjoyed our show tonight. We're just here kind of trying to be leaders in our own community. An interesting subject, one you don't hear in normal platforms.
Right.
But we try to keep it clean. We try to keep it fun. And most of all, we try to keep it real. So hopefully you got something out of it. Like, share, subscribe. Send all your friends and family.
Yes.
We are here every Thursday, 7 to 8 Facebook Live. We've been here for 6.5, going on 7 years. September 14th. So, 17. Yeah, continue to come back. Join us. Never forget, folks, that we love you. We appreciate you. And with that, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.